Right. Good morning. Happy Sunday to everybody. Hope you're doing well. Coach Jason here. We're going to talk about the next video. Okay. The 800 meters collegiate group, cross country or non cross country in the fall. What do they do in the fall? Okay. And this is for 800 meters who step up to the mile, step down to the 4x4, and do everything in between. 1200, 1000, 600, 500, who like to double at track meets too, right? Might run the 800, come back in the 4x4, might run the 600, run the 1200 leg in the DMR, and so on and so forth. So this is very middle distance applicable, but at the collegiate level. So you'll see the transition from 400, 800 high school, which we did last, to 800 here in college. Okay, again, the volume is kind of appropriate to the middle distances with modification available to you as a coach or an athlete. It's up to you to decide what volume is most appropriate for your athletes. But I'm also going under the assumption that they've run over the summer. So this is applicable to people who have actually done their summer training. Okay. But in the meantime, if you're a coach or an athlete, you find this stuff helpful and enjoyable, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I thank you so much for it. It really helps the algorithm, really helps the channel, really helps it grow. I want to continue to put out free content. Again, you have access to me directly. blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com is my email. Again, blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com is my email address. And if you have any questions along the way, because everything's going to be here in writing right now, all 12 weeks, fall cross-country plan, okay, or non-cross-country plan. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'm here to answer them. Okay, let's get right to it. Week one. Okay, easy. Is always going to be an easy day on Monday to start the week off right. Okay, now with this schedule is a Tuesday, Friday workout system or cycle. Okay, if you happen to want to have your athletes run a race on occasion, because some of them do at the collegiate level, you plug in a race instead of a Friday workout. You make a Saturday race, right? You modify it as you see fit, but the standing workout's always going to be Tuesday, at least in this plan. Okay, so week one, 5 miles easy on Monday. Warm up Tuesday, warm up drills and strides, whatever your warm up might be. And if you look at the meat and potatoes of the workout itself, this is a threshold pace workout. Okay, so you do a couple of 200s prior to the workout at the threshold pace you're looking to run. Helps you find the pace before the workout starts. Okay, puts you a step ahead of it. So the workout itself is 6 times 1K with a 1 minute recovery at threshold pace. Then you're going to do 5 times 100 meters on uphill sprints afterward, on just a gradual uphill. Jog down, walk down recovery. We're going to incorporate some speed development on the back end of the threshold. And then you do your cool down. Okay, Wednesday, 6 miles easy, 5 times 50 meters flat. Kind of flush out the hill running in the legs from the day before. Thursday, 5 miles steady, which is a slightly faster pace than the easy pace on Wednesday. And you'll see gradually throughout the course of the season, we'll add a little bit of volume to that Wednesday run, that semi-long run, I call it. Okay. And then Friday, workout too. Warm up drills and strides and look at the workout. You're going to do some 200s, let's just say 2 to 3, no more than 2 and 3, with a 200 meter jog recovery at 5K pace, whatever that might be. The workout's going to be 5 times an 800 with a 2 minute recovery at 5K pace. And then 3 times 200 meters on the back end. You can even go from mile pace to 800 meter pace, up to you. 1 minute recovery after each one, then you cool down. 8 miles rolling long run, that means over rolling hills. 4 miles easy on Sunday. That's week one. And again, if you have any questions along the way, ask them in the comments. Okay, week two, 5 miles easy Monday. Tuesday workout, warm up drills and strides. Okay, if you do the workout, if you look at the workout, you have a tempo component, you have a 3K pace component. So you could do 2 times 200. You can do 1 200 at tempo pace, 1 200 at 3K pace. Okay. Then the workout itself is 1.5 miles at tempo. Take a 5 minute recovery, and then 5 times 600 meters with a 2 minute recovery at 3K pace. This serves as a little bit more VO2 max specific for the middle distance runners. Then you do your cool down. 6 miles easy Wednesday, 5 miles steady Thursday with 5 times 100 meter stride. Okay. Alternate strides. It's going to be Wednesday one week, Thursday the next week. Okay. But again, you modify this stuff as you see fit. Okay. Friday's workout. Warm up drills and strides. 1K at tempo. So you're going to do let's just say 2 times 200 meter at tempo pace. You do a 1K rep at tempo pace to elevate the heart rate, take a 3 minute active recovery. Then the workout itself is 8 times the 200 meter uphills. Okay. Jog equal recovery, jog or walk, whatever you feel is appropriate. Take a 3 minute recovery after the last one and do another 1K rep at tempo pace. This can help flush out any junk that you might have in your legs. You'd be attacking the 200-meter uphills. It's not a super duper steep hill, nor should it be with the length of 200 meters. It's just a gradual hill. Okay. And then you do cool down. 8 miles rolling on Saturday and then off day Sunday. You'll see an off day every other Sunday in this scenario. Okay. And you notice the paces get faster throughout the cycle, the 2-week block. Right. Went from essentially threshold, the 5K pace to 3K pace, down to speed, to uphill running. You can do uphill running at essentially mile pace effort. Okay. Week 3, 5 miles easy Monday. Okay. And now we're sneaking a little bit of stuff here. Tuesday, warm up, drills and strides. You do a 200. If this is up to you, if you want to do these, you do your transition piece if you'd like. But the workout is as such: 8 minutes at tempo pace, take a 90-second recovery. Then you do a 400-meter rep at 3K pace, 90-second recovery. 6 minutes at tempo, 90-second recovery. 400-meter rep at 3K pace, 90-second recovery. 4 minutes at tempo, 90 seconds. 400 at 3K pace, 90 seconds. 2 minutes at tempo pace, 90 seconds. And then 400-meter at 3K pace. So if you add it up, you have 20 minutes of tempo broken up into 4 pieces. But we infuse some 400-meter reps at 3K pace. You can even run the last one at mile pace if you like, or the last 2 at mile pace. Up to you. Okay? Then you do a cool down. This is a way of breaking the tempo up and adding some speed development within the tempo. Okay? Then 7 miles easy. We added a mile here to the semi-long run. 7 easy, 3 times 150 on the back end. Okay, 5 miles steady on Thursday. Friday workout 2. Warm up, drills and strides. Okay. Here you can do mile at threshold pace. You do your transition pieces if you like. You do a mile at threshold, take a 3-minute recovery, and then you do 5 times a 400. Okay, you take a 4-minute recovery after the mile threshold, then you do 5 times a 400 with a 2-minute recovery. Let's just say you run these at mile pace. Okay, you can do them over the cross country course if you like. That's up to you. Then you take 4 minutes after the last one. You do another mile at threshold pace, kind of bookending the speed you put in between the workout in the middle. 8 miles over, and then you do cool down. 8 miles over rolling hills on Saturday, 4 easy on Sunday. Okay, week 4, 5 miles easy on Monday. You'll always see a consistent easy day on Monday, especially if athletes don't run on Sunday. You want to ease yourself into the week on Monday instead of having to jump into a workout where the legs might be a little bit heavy. Okay, so 5 easy Monday. We got Tuesday, warm up, drills and strides. You do a couple of 200s for transition, and those are up to you. But the workout itself is 1K at tempo, 3-minute recovery. And then you can do speed endurance 200s here. You can do 8 of them with a 2-minute recovery at 800-meter pace. All right, so if you look at around 2 minutes, you're going to try to run these in 29:30. All right, and then on the back end, you take a 3-minute recovery after the last one. Then you do another 1K rep at threshold pace. Okay, or excuse me, at tempo pace. Then you do cool down. Okay, if you need to modify the pace of the 200s, you do that. Okay, but at this point here, you should be fit enough, especially if you ran over the summer, to be able to run a mile's worth of 200s at 800-meter pace with a 2-minute recovery. Okay, once you feel the fitness has been advanced to the level where they can cut the recovery down to 90 seconds, you do that. Okay, 7 easy Wednesday, 5 steady on Thursday with 7 times 50-meter strides on the back end of it. And Friday, okay, warm up, drills and strides, do a couple of transitional 200s, 4 times a mile with a 3-minute recovery at 8K pace. Let's just say you're going to hop in a occasional cross country race. Okay, 4 of them, 4 times a mile at the goal pace that you'd like for them to run. So let's just say you're looking to run 26 minutes. You're going to try to run these at 5:10, 5:12, 27 minutes. Okay, 5:22 to 5:24, and so on. Okay, 25 minutes, 4:58 to 5 minutes if you can. But this isn't always easy. But this is why the recovery is 3 minutes instead of 90 seconds or 2 minutes. Okay, you take a 10-minute recovery after the last one. This is the first of 3 tests. I'm going to be testing the athletes every 4 weeks. Okay, for weeks 4, 8, and 12. Right here, you take a 10-minute recovery after the last rep, and you can even put your spikes on if you'd like. When you hop in the track, you're going to test your athletes at 400 meters. See how well they can run 400. It doesn't necessarily mean balls to the wall, but you're going to try to run 400 as hard as you possibly can after the mile repeats. Okay, the idea is to run it when you're fatigued. This is going to simulate the last 200 of a 400, right? That's the whole point. Then you do cool down. Then we bumped it up to 10 miles on Saturday for the rolling long run. Then you're off on Sunday. Okay, that's test 1, week 4. Remember, week 8 and week 12 are test 2 and test 3. Now, week 5, we added a mile to the Monday run as well. 6 miles, easy. Tuesday, warm up, drills, and strides. You can do a couple 200s at threshold pace. The workout's 5 times a 1200 with a 1 minute recovery at threshold pace. Okay, and then you can even take a 3 or 4 minute recovery after the last rep and do 6 times 100 meter uphill, adding 100 to the last time you did the 5 times 100 meter uphill on a Tuesday. Jog, equal recovery, walk down, whatever you feel is most appropriate. You can take a little extra rest on the bottom. You do that if you feel you need to. Then you cool down. Wednesday, 7 miles easy. Then in the back end, you do 200, 150, 150 meters. Just a little speed play on the back end. It also helps flush out the legs from the uphill running on Tuesday. Thursday, 5 miles steady, okay, which is always going to be at a slightly faster pace than Wednesday's semi-long run. Friday, warm-up drills and strides. Do a couple 200s at 5K pace. The workout is 6 times an 800 with a 2 minute recovery at 5K pace. Okay. And then even on the last one, if you take a little extra time, you take a little extra time. Then you do 2 times at 300 meters with a 2 minute recovery. You try to get as close to mile pace, 800 meter pace as you can. Okay. You can even do 1 at mile pace, 1 at 800 meter pace. Okay. Then you do your cool down. Then you 10 miles rolling long run on Saturday, 4 miles easy on Sunday, week 5. If you notice the volume's not excessively high, we're not doing 5 miles, 6 miles worth of volume because I want to keep it appropriate to the middle distance crew who probably would not run a lot of cross country races. So this will set them up to be able to run a fairly strong cross country race if they need to, but also make it easy to transition into the track, which is why you'll see speed development incorporated every single week into this training. Okay, you'll see some of these workouts again. Mile repeats, 1200s at threshold, 800s at 5K pace, and so on. It makes it transitionable either way. Okay, week 6. Monday's always easy. Okay, now bookend workout Tuesday. Warm up, drills and strides, a couple 200s as you see fit. Then you do 10 minutes at tempo pace. You take a 5 minute recovery. Then 3 times a 400 from 3K pace to mile pace. Take 90 seconds recovery after each rep. 5 minutes after the last one. Then you do another 10 minutes at tempo pace. Take a 5 minute recovery. And then you finish off with 6 times the 200. With a 1 minute recovery, you progress from mile pace to 800 meter pace. Okay? So, breaking up the pieces: tempo, race pace. Tempo, race pace. Okay? And then later on, we're going to switch that around. So then you do your cool down. 7 easy Wednesday. And again, if you have questions along the way, just put them right in the comments and I'll answer them. 7 easy Wednesday, 5 steady Thursday, and then in the back end, you do 50, 100, 150, 100, 50. Kind of a little bit of a ladder with speed. You could do walk, equal recovery, whatever's most appropriate for you. Friday, warm-up drills and strides. Do a couple of transitional 200s. The workout is 1K at tempo, 3 minute recovery. Now we're going to do 10 times a 200 uphill. Jog, equal recovery. Nice and easy. Even if you want to jog some, walk some, that's fine. Take a 3 minutes after the last one. Then you do another 1K rep at tempo pace. So we sandwich the speed development and the strength component in the middle of the workout. Okay? And then the goal is to flush out some of the junk that might be in the legs from the hills with another tempo rep at 1K pace on the back end. Then you do cool down. Rolling long run, 10 miles Saturday, off day Sunday. Again, every other Sunday will be off. And it's going to be, I put them on the even here, the even numbers. Week 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. You'll see that. Okay, week 7. Easy Monday. Warm-up drills and strides on Tuesday. Do a couple of 200s at 8K pace. The workout now is 4 to 5 times a mile. If you did 4 last time, you try to do 5 this time. With a 3 minute recovery at 8K pace. Okay, and then you do 4 times 150 on the back end. You can do 150, just straight 150s. You could do progression 150s, which is 50 float into 50 stride into 50 sprint, which teaches you how to change gears multiple times. Okay, after the workout itself. So you're doing this stuff when you're fatigued, which is exactly when you're going to need to deploy it in a race. And then you do a cool down. 8 miles easy. We added a mile here to the semi-long run. 8 miles easy on Wednesday. 5 times 50 meter stride. 5 miles steady on Thursday. If you notice, the weekly volume is not going to be super high, so you can modify it as you see fit. Then Friday's workout. Warm up, drills and strides. You can even do if you want, a mile at, let's just say you do a mile at threshold. When you see a workout like this, when the reps are shorter, you can do a longer transitional pace. So let's just say you do a mile at tempo pace. Take a 5-minute recovery. It's up to you though. The workout is 4 sets of 800, 300. Here, you take a 100-meter jog after the 800, and you're going to run that at 3K pace. And then you're going to run the 400-meter rep at mile down 800-meter pace. You take a 400-meter jog after the 300 rep. Okay? And then you repeat for 4 sets. This is a good workout to work on changing pace, to work on accelerating a couple different systems. But again, you're doing it mid-season when you have a lot of other workouts behind you, when you have a lot of fitness behind you to help justify it. Then you do your cool down. Then we add a little bit to the long run. The long run will not exceed 12 miles here. So it's 12 miles rolling long run now, 4 miles easy on Sunday. Okay. Week 8, 6 easy Monday. Tuesday, warm up, drills and strides. Do a couple 200s at threshold pace. Okay, remember, we're going to be testing at week 8. So the workout on Tuesday is 5 times an 800 with a 1-minute recovery at threshold pace. Okay, you even take 5 minutes after the last one if you need to. And then 5 times 400 with a 90-second recovery at 3K down to mile pace. Some additional stuff to complement the threshold stuff in the beginning of the workout. Then you do cool down. 8 easy Wednesday. 5 steady on Thursday, but now you can do 200, 150, 150, but it's just going to be relaxed. Not going to be very hard. Why? Because we're testing on Friday. Okay. The workout Friday, warm up, drills and strides. Do a couple 200s at 8K to 5K pace. It's 4 times a 1200 with a 2-minute recovery, progressing from 8K down to 5K pace. Take 10 minutes after the last rep. Put your spikes on if you'd like. Get some fluid, stay loose. Now we're going to test at 600 meters. Okay, so think about whatever you're looking to run for the 800 during the track season. Can you get as close as possible coming through 600 at that pace? So if you're looking to break 2 minutes, at this point, can you run 129 or so, 128 through 600? If you're looking to run faster, can you run the pace through 600? That's the whole point of this. And again, doing it on the back end of a workout when your legs are tired. This sets you up so that when you transition to track and you're fresh on race day, you'll be able to attack faster paces. Okay, and then you do your cool down. That's test number 2. 12 miles rolling long run on Saturday, off day Sunday. Okay, we're down 4 weeks left. Week's 9. Okay, and I'm giving you the whole length of the cross country season. That's why we're doing this. Okay, Monday's easy. Tuesday, warm up, drills and strides. Remember, we did the tempo and then speed, tempo and speed. Now we're flipping it around. Okay, do transitional piece if you like. The workout is 3 times a 400, 90-second recovery, 3K down to mile pace. You rest 5 minutes after your last one. Now you do 10 minutes at tempo after those. Take a 5-minute recovery, and then you're going to go to 6 times a 200, 60-second recovery from mile down 800-meter pace. Right? 5 minutes after the last one, then a 10-minute tempo again. So the tempos are after the race pace stuff now instead of before them. Okay? And then you cool down. This is a very, very good workout. It teaches you how to, again, run race pace after tempo and then run race pace before tempo. And this tests your fitness. Both of these workouts will test your fitness. Okay? But again, you're also getting 20 minutes of tempo, just broken up into pieces. Okay? Then you have your cool down. 8 miles easy Wednesday, 4 times 100 meters on the back end, 5 steady Thursday. Friday, this is a good workout to test the fitness before week 12. Okay, warm up, drills and strides, a couple 200s. The workout is 2K, 1600, 1200, 800, 400. You might be familiar with the 1600, 1200, 800, 400. That's the Michigan. I'm adding the 2K rep here. I'm calling it the Great Lakes. It's a little bit bigger than the Michigan. Okay, and you progress down from 8K pace down to mile pace as you see fit. 6 minutes after the 2K, 5 minutes after the 1600, 4 minutes after the 1200, and 3 minutes after the 800. And then you're going to finish off with 3 times progression 150s, excuse me, with a walk eagle recovery after the 400-meter rep. And then you do cool down. Okay. At this point, you should be fit enough to handle these types of intense workouts. 12 miles easy, rolling long run on Saturday, 4 miles easy on Sunday. Okay. Week 10, 5 easy. We cut it back on Monday again. Okay. The middle 4 weeks, we added a mile. The last 4 weeks, we cut back a mile. Okay, so 5 easy Monday. Tuesday, warm up, drills and strides. Now CV is critical velocity. The last workout I've done here, the last video, I've done the pace differential between critical velocity and threshold and tempo, so you'll notice the difference there. I'm also going to do critical velocity workouts based on mile fitness and 2 mile fitness over this week. So I did it based on 5K pace. Now I'm going to do it based on mile performance and 2 mile performance. So you'll get critical velocity for all 3 of those. Okay. So that's why I say make sure you're subscribed, make sure your notifications are turned on. That way you never miss these types of videos. So the workout is 5 times a K, warm-up drills and strides, do a couple of 200s. And again, I'm doing these types of videos in the summer. That way you're way ahead of schedule here if you want to incorporate this stuff in the fall. You'll have all these videos. You'll know exactly how to incorporate it. And if you have questions about it, you can ask me. Before I go any further, we have a question here. The area is really flat and hard to find rolling hills. How do you supplement that? If you can't do rolling hills, it's okay, Multi-Kenny. I mean, you could do steps, or you could just do some progression reps on the track if you need to. But I mean, there are areas where it's flat, so you can incorporate the same distance that you would on the uphill on the track. That's all. You improvise as you see fit. Speed development is just as important on the flats as it is on the hills. So don't worry too much, Multi-Ken, if you don't have access to hills. It's okay. So back to it. Workout 5 times a K, 200 meter jog recovery. Okay, at critical velocity. And then you can do 5 times a 200 with a 1 minute recovery at mile pace. Okay, on the back end. This teaches you how to accelerate when you're fatigued, right? That's the way it's always going to be in these workouts. And then you do your cool down. Warm up and cool down should always be somewhat similar to each other. You want to make sure that you're appropriately set up in the beginning after the warm up to help make it easy to transition into the workout. Okay, 8 miles easy Wednesday, 5 miles steady Thursday, 5 times 50 meter strides. Now, look what we did. We cut the 2K rep on Friday. We modified it a little bit. Friday's workout, warm up, drills and strides, do a couple 200s. Now it's 1600, 1200, 800, 600, 400, 200. So we modified it a little bit to make it a little bit more middle distance oriented than the last one. The last one's a good cross country transition. This one's a good middle distance transition. Okay, you can even progress from 5K pace or 3. It's up to you. 8K pace down to 800 meter pace if you like. Okay, so you do 1600 meters, you rest 6 minutes. You do 1200, rest 5 minutes. 800, rest 4. 600, rest 3. 400, rest 2. 200, and then you do cool down. Okay, at this point, you want to be attacking these types of workouts. You want to be as sharp as you possibly can at the end of the fall season, especially if you're going to be racing tracks soon. Okay, but remember, we're also going to be testing you week 12. Then we cut the long run back. Okay, 10 miles rolling hills on Saturday, off day Sunday, and obviously you do your cool down after Friday's workout. See, that's week 10. 2 weeks to go. Week 11, 5 easy Monday, Tuesday's workout. Okay, warm up drills and strides, a couple 200s if you see fit. 5 times an 800 meter with a 2 minute recovery at 3K pace. Okay, and then you take an extra couple minutes after the 800s if you'd like. Then it's 4 times a 300 on the back end with a 90-second recovery at mile pace. Okay, and then you cool down. 8 miles easy Wednesday, 5 times 100 meters. Flush out the legs a little bit from Tuesday's workout. 5 steady Thursday. Friday's workout. At this point, the work should mostly be done. The super intense workout should be done. Okay. Warm up drills and strides. A couple 200s to transition. The workout is 2 miles at threshold pace. Take a 5 minute recovery. Then you do 1 mile at 8K pace. 5 minute recovery. And then 8 times progression 200s. Remember we did those progression 200s back in the day? Now we're going to do it after a little bit more volume. Okay, I want to see how you progress. 2 minute recovery after each one. Progressing from mile down 800 meter pace. If you feel you're fit enough to do 90-second recovery, then you do 90-second recovery. It's up to you. Then you do cool down. 10 miles rolling long run on Saturday, 3 easy on Sunday. We cut it by a mile. Week 12, final week of the fall. Okay, 5 easy Monday. Tuesday, warm-up drills and strides. Do a couple 200s at threshold pace. The workout's 3 times an 800 with a 1 minute recovery at threshold. Take a 5 minute recovery after your last rep. Then you do 1 300 meter rep hard. Just one. Then you do cool down. 6 easy Wednesday, 5 times 50-meter strides. 4 easy on Thursday. And then Friday, warm-up drills and strides. The workout. You do a couple 200s if you need to. 4 times 1K with a 1-minute recovery at threshold pace. So it's all threshold pace this week. Why? Because you're going to take a 10-minute recovery after the last one. Then you're going to test yourself, or you test your athletes at 800 meters. Okay, so test 1 at week 4 was testing at 400. Test 2, week 8 was testing at 600. Test here, test 3, that's week 12 is testing at 800. Okay, we're adding 200 meters to the test. We're going to see how you progress. And at this point, you should be able to run a pretty fast 800 meter rep. You can treat it as a race. You can put your spikes on. It's up to you. Okay, stay loose and stay hydrated in between. Then you do cool down. I'm going to flush it out. Next day, 8 miles rolling along. I'm going to cut that back, and then you're off on Sunday. Okay, so there's your 12 weeks in the fall, 800 meters. And I encourage you, if you haven't seen the 400, 800 one that I did for fall for high school, take a look at the two. It's a little bit different. Okay, the tests are different in high school. You test at 400 week 4, 500 week 8, 600 week 12. Here, you're lengthening the tests. Why am I doing that? Well, because some folks also want to run a mile, right? Some folks might open up the season with a mile race, right? So, and then might come back the following week or the next time they race with a 500. And then they might run 800 as a third race. You go higher, then you go lower, and then you go at. It's a good way of testing strength, testing speed, and then testing how ready you are for your signature event. So if anybody else has any questions, feel free to put them here, or send it to my email address. And again, I encourage you to take a look at the difference. And again, when I say critical velocity or 3K pace, mile pace, you will know what paces your fitness has you at. This is one reason I've done videos on threshold. I've done videos on tempo. I've done videos on 3K pace and mile pace based on what you run for the mile and so on and so forth, right? So, and I'm going to be doing critical velocity for what you run for the 2 mile. We're going to go from 12 minutes all the way down to 9 minutes. So I'm going to go 12, 11:30, 11 minutes, 10 minutes. Okay, 10:30, 10 minutes, 9:30, 9 minutes. And everything, all the paces appropriately. And we're going to compare critical velocity to threshold to tempo for all of them. That way you can see the difference. And then we're going to do the mile. We're going to start at 6 minutes. We'll do 6 minutes, 5:45, 25 minutes, 4:44, 24 minutes. And you'll see the paces that to be at. Okay, this way it sets you up, sets your athletes up for the right paces. Make sure that everybody's training in the right areas where they need to train. That keeps them healthy. That keeps them progressing, moving forward. In the fall, if you want to have some of your middle distance runners run cross country, you want to set them up to help, especially if they're the back end. If they're runners 4, 5, 6, and 7, you want to close the gap up to the front. But some of them might be the front. You never know. I know some half milers who also step up to the mile who could be number 1 or number 2 in the cross country team. It just happens. So you want to make sure the workouts are appropriate and sets them up for success. Okay, I'm also going to do a fully detailed high school cross country plan for cross country, and I'm going to do a fully detailed college one, updated live on this channel. So that's coming up in the next couple of weeks, but it'll all be done before cross country season happens. So again, blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com is my email if you have any questions. Don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great rest of the weekend. Talk to you next time.